for joining us today as we discuss the topic of cybersecurity. This subject gets almost as much headlines these days as the pandemic. But is it really something that small to medium-sized businesses need to concern themselves with? Well, to help us answer that question and discuss this growing threat is Dov Koplovsky, CEO of NEWCOM, a technology solutions company. I had the pleasure of working with Dov and his highly capable team for a number of years. And so I know the dedication that he and his organization have to staying on top of all things related to technology, including the protection of data. So welcome, Dov. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to join us.
Thank you, Penny. I appreciate you inviting me and asking for my opinion and talking about something that's it's on the top of everybody's mind today is cybersecurity.
Yeah, absolutely is. So first, though, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about NEWCOM and the work that you do in both private and public sectors?
Great. Well, NEWCOM is a privately held company. I'm the owner and CEO. We're based out of the Boston area. And we focus on all technology, everything from mobility all the way through the data center. In a way, it's about collecting data in the field and securing that information and then being able to send it inside the four walls into your data center and being able to utilize that data. Sometimes we talk about the birth of the data all the way to storage of it and making sure it's secure along those paths. So NEWCOM has been in business for over 24 years, and we're here to help and see how we can leverage technology today to help your business.
Great. So now more specific to the topic of the day, how do you define cybersecurity? What all does that term actually encompass?
Well, that's the exciting part. Cybersecurity, it used to be broken up into different areas. People used to talk about things like antivirus, and they would separate each part of the security aspect of cybersecurity.
Right.
Today, it really all falls under one heading, one group. Everything has to do with cybersecurity. But the reality is it's any unauthorized access to your systems. That's what we're trying to prevent of using the term cybersecurity. So if it's antivirus, if it's your hardware, if it's a virtual environment, cybersecurity is going to encompass all of that today.
Okay, that's good clarification. Thank you. Now, many of the businesses who may be listening today are smaller companies, less than 2,000, a small manufacturer, or maybe it's a small retail business. So for any of those listeners who are thinking that cybersecurity is not something that their business really needs to be too concerned about, how would you respond?
Well, protecting your information should be important to everyone. People think that technology is something that isn't tangible. The technology and your information, because they can't see it. It's not like a filing cabinet. But cybersecurity involves protecting your technology, your information from anybody who finds it interesting or wants to fish for information. So organized cyber criminals, you have to think about it kind of like walking down the street looking for unlocked doors. They will go and see if your system is unlocked. If it is, they'll try to enter it and try to get information or mine information out of it. If it's locked, even with the most basic of tools, they may move on and try an easier target. But cyber criminals today are always out there looking for information that's worthy of getting them money and stealing some type of information, passwords, or actual access to your financial systems. So that's what we're looking at today. That's what we consider important. Your information, even if you don't consider it important, is important to somebody.
Right. Somebody out there is willing to pay for it, right?
Absolutely.
Is there any one particular threat that small to medium-sized businesses should be most concerned about?
Penny, this is the number one intangible topic that people, they don't realize till they don't have it. It's kind of like not having power. You don't realize all the things that you rely on.
Right.
Having a cybersecurity program or cybersecurity in place for your information is important, because the biggest threat is the disruption to your business. What if you're locked out of your system and you can't pay a bill? What happens if you can't make payroll because the payroll system has locked you out because your systems have been hacked? Interruption of business continuity is the #1 threat today. Even for our own business, we're constantly concerned. What do we do if even the simplest thing, we didn't have power? Now, what if we don't have power and we can't get into our systems because they're locked out? How do we do our banking? How do we communicate with our customers, and how do we monitor their systems? Business continuity should be top of mind as everybody is concerned about what happens if they run into a cybersecurity attack or any type of ransomware or anything is put onto their network.
Sure, that makes sense. It's something I don't think a lot of people really stop to think about, just business interruption. So these days, since the pandemic, we're hearing a lot about individuals who are venturing out on their own. The entrepreneurship is on the rise. So anyone who is listening, who is thinking about starting a business as a freelance service provider, let's say accounting or marketing, whatever it may be, if I'm that person, when should I begin thinking about cybersecurity?
Day one. Day one, the moment you buy that first laptop, the first PC, anything that you're going to utilize in your business, that should be the moment that you start thinking about cybersecurity. The birth of the data, how you set up your system to even log in. There's tools out there that are very simple and inexpensive from Microsoft. They've got Microsoft Office 365 with a lot of security tools built into it for small businesses.
Right.
But you should be thinking about it right from the moment that you start your business.
Yeah, that makes sense. So can you tell us a little about, are there any particular trends that you're aware of in data security that our listeners should be aware of? Any schemes or malicious activity that they need to particularly be on the lookout for?
Absolutely. The biggest thing we've been seeing, they're trends that kind of go in and out, but they're definitely emails, that are phishing emails
Right.
that tell you to reset your password, emails that look like they're coming from a bank, or asking security questions that you thought were innocent questions that lead up to a bigger problem later on. Phishing emails are going to continue to be a problem. And what we see is that they're redirects. You may get an email in your business that looks like it pertains to your business. You might click on it, and because it looks like the correct email address, and as soon as you click on it, it redirects you somewhere else. And at that point puts some kind of phishing tool or virus into your computer because of it. You've got to really spend some time concentrating on what you're clicking on, what you're opening up. And it's extremely important just to be aware,
right,
of who you're getting emails from. You get excited when you see something that says purchase order, or you see something, that you see that, there's been a deposit into your account somewhere. And sometimes you overlook, you're doing things so quickly. So my advice is to slow down, think about the technology that you're touching, think about how it's important to you, and run your business in a consistent manner that you're always aware. Don't trust any emails. Always look at who they're from, where they're going, and hover your mouse over some of those links to see if they truly are a link that is taking you to the right place. Right.
Yeah, criminals have become very good at copying the real banks or government agencies, so emails look very legitimate.
And we've also seen a rise in fake purchase orders. That's been the newest thing that's been plaguing even our company.
Wow.
Everything looks, they're getting so sophisticated that everything looks exactly correct.
Right.
And the email may even look like it's coming from a procurement person. You may go to their website, look up to see that this is the procurement person, but yet the email might be one letter off. And so you look over it. You start emailing back and forth with this person. They send you a PO that looks real. It has all the right information in it, except the remit to is, it even may have the right shipping address on it. And we did learn this recently in a cybersecurity scheme that was going on. The product was actually shipped to a healthcare organization, and we couldn't figure it out. We thought it had to have been real. We got a PO. It looked like the procurement, the head of procurement sent it to us. They followed along the whole time. It was for some laptops. We shipped them to the hospital address. We Google searched it. It was to the loading dock.
Wow.
What we didn't know was that the criminal had sent an email to the procurement department and said, "We're sorry, we misshipped a shipment to you. When you receive it, can you put this label on it?" It's called a redirect. And the procurement person may not think anything of it. All of a sudden, laptops show up. They remember the email. They forward the label down to the shipping department. And when we ship the laptops to the right location, then they get redirected with another label that sends it to the criminals. So they're very sophisticated today. We have been, even as diligent as we are, we've been spoofed already a few times, and so it's extremely important.
Yeah, it is difficult, but you're right. Taking that extra time to really look into something is important. I'm very suspicious of all emails myself. And I've been surprised at how many emails I've sent out about this topic on cybersecurity and included a link, and people just click on the link.
On the link automatically.
Like, okay, did you read what I just wrote? Don't click on that link. But it's kind of
something I didn't touch on earlier as well, as people are thinking about getting into business, is that, typically you would get business insurance as well. And insurance policies today are making you get cybersecurity tools and software in place to even be insured. So even if you say, I don't need that, I'm not interested in that, they're bundling up these insurance policies that you've got to have cybersecurity. And cybersecurity is not just one level with a password.
Right.
It is, they're going up to 3 levels of security measures in place between your email and how you connect to the internet, so that the policy is that you're covered. So you may not want to, but you may be forced to have these tools in place to protect you from yourself and to protect the insurance companies who are insuring you.
Sure, that makes sense. And it's going to become a growing threat. It's not going away. So we need to set up and pay attention, I guess, and do what we can to protect ourselves. Good. Well, I'm afraid we are out of time, Dov. I really appreciate you taking the time today. I truly do. And these are some very good practical tips and very insightful information. I know our audience will appreciate it. So thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. And if you have any questions or any concerns and you want to talk about it a little bit more, feel free to reach out to us. I know you'll give everyone the contact information. But we've got a whole team of people here that can guide you and even talk it through with you and give you a comfort level that you're not wasting your money, that you're spending it properly, and that you're utilizing the right tools for the size business that you have.
Yeah, that's a good thought. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And if you do want more information about NEWCOM, I will include the website's newcomglobal.com, and that will be on the post here and on the end of this video. Definitely check out their website. They have decades of knowledge and offer a breadth of services that for all sizes of organizations and across all industries. So appreciate it. Tune in next time as we have another important topic, a very timely topic on the new face of business, e-commerce. So join us then. But until then, have a great day.
Thank you, Penny.